Hello again, everyone. This is Collocations Part 19. This is the 19th video in my collocation series, and like the others, I'll present 5 commonly used collocations to you, numbered 91 to 95. But first, I'll give you the opportunity to guess the appropriate word or words to complete each one. Then I'll explain the correct answers to you and provide you with an additional example for each collocation. I also recommend that you pause the video at each question to give yourself some extra time to think of the answers. So, are you ready? Okay, here we go. Number 91. And the answer here is C, cover. The complete collocation is run for cover. In this case, it's the past tense, ran for cover. And the example is, as it started to rain, we ran for cover under the porch. Okay, to run for cover, it means to go to a safe place, or in this case, a place that was dry because it was raining. So as it started to rain, they ran for cover. They ran to a dry place or a safe place. Okay, that's what it means. The other two just don't work. Here's another example. When shooting began, the soldiers ran for cover in their foxholes. Okay, so in this case, the soldiers were trying to get to a place that was safe, so they ran to their foxholes. The foxhole is a hole in the ground that soldiers use to stay safe. And this is where they ran to. Okay, and that's this collocation. All right, now for number 92. And the answer here is C, in. The complete collocation is in vogue. And the example is, low carbohydrate diets are now in vogue around the world. Okay, so if something is in vogue, it's very popular or very fashionable. And in this case, in our example, they're talking about low carbohydrate diets they're popular today in the world. Okay, so if something is in vogue, right, that means that it's very popular or very fashionable. Now, at vogue or into vogue, both of those don't work. All right, here's another example. Dark colors are much more in vogue now than they used to be just a few years ago. All right, so this example is about dark colors that people wear. They're more fashionable now than they were just a few years ago. Okay, so if it's in vogue, it's very popular, or as we say, very fashionable. And now for number 93. And the answer here is A, hazardous. The complete collocation is hazardous waste. This is used very often. And the example is, that company was heavily fined after dumping hazardous waste illegally in the woods near their factory. Okay, so hazardous waste is very, very dangerous stuff. It can be a substance or a material of some kind. Usually it's chemicals, or you could even say maybe nuclear waste is hazardous waste. Here's another example. The treatment of hazardous waste is very expensive, and it needs special equipment to handle properly. All right, so they're talking about how it's expensive, hazardous waste, nuclear waste, or any kind of a substance that they deem hazardous. It's usually very expensive to deal with. And now for number 94. And the answer here is C, boundless. The collocation is boundless energy. And the example is, she was a very active senior citizen with boundless energy. Okay, if you have boundless energy, like our example here, then you have no limit to the amount of energy that you have. That's what it means, boundless. Here's another example for you. Jason is a great political organizer who seems to have boundless energy and enthusiasm for his job. All right, in this case, this person is a very good organizer who has limitless energy, right? There's no limit to the amount of energy that he has. And also in this case, he also has boundless enthusiasm, right? No limit to that. All right, so it's kind of a collocation that's used maybe both energy and enthusiasm, okay? But boundless energy, that's used very often. And now for our final collocation, number 95. And the correct answer here is B, lasting. Lasting peace. And the example is, both sides in the conflict are bitter enemies. So, lasting peace is very doubtful. All right, a lasting peace or lasting peace, it simply means that the peace, right, no war or no fighting, will exist for a long time. All right, and then in this case, in our example, they're talking about a relationship that's very bitter. So the peace is very doubtful. So this lasting peace they're talking about here is not going to happen probably. Here's another example. The president's goal is to create the conditions for a lasting peace with the countries on our borders. Okay, so the president is trying to create a condition or conditions for this long-lasting peace. So, a lasting peace is something that exists for a long time. Got it? And yes, it's used very often. That's all for this video. Thanks again for subscribing, and please like and share this video if you get a chance. And remember what I always say, keep practicing. See you next time.